Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus Legion. Again, this is our third rematch of the season. They banned Stealthy, Silk, and Void. This was supposed to be the season of no rematches. And like I said before, it's just... I don't know why we can't just match some of the other alliances in Masters. I have no problem matching Legion. But there's other alliances we can face that we haven't seen that... Both these two alliances, Legion and 4 Loki, could probably beat easily. And not that I want an easy matchup, but let's get them out of the bracket that maybe they don't deserve to be in. Or they do, if they beat us. And let's see what it is. But for this war, I'm bringing Professor X, Omega Sentinel, and Photon. I recently pulled Photon from the featured. I know she's a 7-star, but I'm not going to get her anytime soon. I don't have any halfway through a 7-star crystal. I brought her for a specific fight, actually. I have been using Spider-Gwen a lot. But we had a Maestro boss. And for that, the easiest solution, or the easiest path to victory was Professor X, in my opinion. So I will be taking that Null. Then I'll be taking this Shuri, with Photon, because Photon can parry non-contact hits, and I'll be finishing my ramp with this Quicksilver. This is Quicksilver. Omega Sentinel means I only need 2 fights to ramp up X, and then I'm going to be taking this Domino with Omega Sentinel as an attacker. So she's obviously great on attack. She fits on the map, and she helps Professor X. And then I'll be taking this Maestro. I was really bummed it was a rank 1, but ultimately that doesn't really matter, and when we get to that, we get to that. But first up is this Null here in section 1, and really the nodes, I mean, it's combat digital prowess, so you want to alternate your basic attacks. Insurance policy, it's not going to matter for what I'm going to do, but I'm really just going to ramp up my control to 100 and throw an SP3. If he throws an SP1, I really don't care because I'm immune to mind control or reverse controls anyways. So here I'm just alternating between a heavy and a medium, just because if I do take any special on the block, then you know, with more prowess, it's just gonna hurt. So I'm just alternating it, and I'm really late on these on these heavies. I'm not doing a good job of watching the stun timer, but there towards the end I'm already ramped, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get to 100 and throw it. The only thing that can happen here is if he goes into corruption and I don't watch out for his unblockable and unstoppable, that'll suck. He didn't throw a special, so it doesn't matter. And inequity can kind of get my damage if he's running it, so it didn't really matter. It's Professor X versus Null on a node where I can parry heavy. So, yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and that's it for the first fight for him. I get 2 persistent charges per Omega Sentinel's synergy. And someone else took a Storm Pyramid X on the fight in front of me in section 1 with an APOC. That was on purpose to ramp up APOC to get him to Horseman me for the boss. So now we have Shuri, and I think I've assigned Shuri quite a bit this season. Our BG has you know, R4s and some 7-stars, and we've sent it towards we send her towards Shuri often, and it works out really well. Shuri is not Sugar Pill, but for this node, you want to basically do damage after you knock her down. So being able to parry her is super clutch. This defender's running suicides, so it's making it easier. They probably just forgot or mistimed it. Trust me, I know that pain. But the plan basically is just to knock her down, throw a special 2, and then spam special 1s, and then just you know, parry for an opening. It's pretty straightforward. It's not there's nothing to it. Like, she makes this fight really simple. I really like Photon here. I realized that when I ranked her up to rank 5, I probably didn't need to, especially after I already knew that this was a defender with suicides. But Shuri's a staple on the war map, and it's good to have options for it. So hopefully I get better luck with a 7-star for another champion, but I'm not going to be mad if I get a 7-star Photon. Not at all. And there at the end, I just, all I'm doing is basically watching the protection, baiting out specials, and throwing my special one, just kind of managing that. There I go for the kill shot. It doesn't quite kill, but the poison damage gets her eventually, so that was pretty smooth. Next up, I have this Quicksilver, and the node interacts with Quicksilver because if he purifies the stun and evades you per his mechanics, it will trigger the node. If you do it 3 times, then he will, I believe he goes unblockable and his combat power goes up. So I really just need to get over 25 mind control charges, and then the fight is essentially over. So I am using a power start one here because I want to get out of this fight. So I put the evade on cooldown, and I didn't like how the spacing was for the next hit, so I just hit him after I put it on cooldown. And now I'm getting to my parry heavy. Now he can't trigger the node anymore. So even when it comes back, the evade mechanic, it fails because I get a vigilance passive once it's over, once I'm over 25 mind control charges. Now he can't miss me because he has a slow on me, but I'm healing with that slow debuff. I knock him down, charge my heavy into my special 3, and that's all she wrote for this fight. So next up I have Domino on Burden of Might. It's the shared mini on one of the 3 mini islands, and for that fight, as we're just going through this SP3 spam fest that Shrimp in Battle Group 1 loves to see, but for the Domino fight, I'm using Omega Sentinel, and I'm not going to have any access to power because every time I gain a buff, I get my power drain. So when I dex and stuff like that. So the plan basically is to kill her with basic hits, and I'm going to be running suicides for that. I think I'm not sure if I only ran the bleed because I am going to be running suicides for the boss. I'm running indestructible boost because if I happen to push her to SP3 and she puts a bleed on me, I'll just heal from it and I won't take any damage off the SP3. So like I'm actually out of town for this fight, for this war. Every December 2nd, I just have a family thing I have to do, and it takes up a lot of my time and energy. But I was able to plan the war before it started. It just when this specific fight was going on, when these fights actually to close out the war happened, like opened up, it was a brief opening that I got that I was able to just kind of sneak away, and I really needed to get this done. I think someone knocked on the door trying to get me out of the room or the bathroom for something, and I just said no because Domino requires a whole lot of attention, and what I'm trying to do here basically is just manage her lucky. If it starts, just move away from her and don't hit her so it just falls off. And this fight is just slowly getting her down, but I just want to be really safe because we really need to win this war. We're in Masters currently at this point in the season with this war going on, and a win we would think would lock us into Masters. And we'd had some unfortunate deaths to start, so we're behind. So we cannot afford a death at this point. But you see, about a minute and a half in, she's just under 50%. And at this point, I'm like, okay, well, this is going kind of slow. But ultimately, it's fine. I just need to be safe and make sure that I don't mess up, and everything is going to be fine. So she's just getting passive with her special 2 here, which is kind of throwing me off a bit, throwing me for a loop. But she throws it finally, And oh no, that's a different war. Okay, yeah, she throws it finally, and yeah, now I'm just, you know, now there's about 3 minutes left, and I'm just watching her lucky right there, and I'm like, okay, at this point she throws this quickly. I'm gonna wait to parry her, and I used my relic, which actually healed her up because it does count as a debuff, which was kind of annoying, but that's good to know for next time. Now she's under 15%, and I'm just like, okay, I can get her down. I just need a few more combos. I'm dashing away at her so I can parry her, and I'm just watching for that that lucky. It doesn't proc. I take these blocked hits, and then I go in for the kill shot, and finally she goes down. So that went very, very long, but I wanted to be safe. And now for this Maestro boss. During planning, you know, we're gonna send actually Trappy here with a Sasquatch, an R3 Sasquatch, and it was gonna be kind of a cool boss nuke and stuff. I've taken 2 other Maestros and on minis and with Professor X, and it's just SP3 spam. But Karate Mike said that Kate was easier than Professor X. He challenged my X hood, and I was like, there's no way. All I gotta do is 6 heavies and I can just smoke this guy. Like, I don't think Kate is easier by any means. And what you'll see that I'm upset actually that this is only a rank 1, but whether it's a rank 1 or a rank 3, ultimately the outcome would be the same. I have a Horseman placed here. I have a White Magneto pre-fight, and the tracking from Omega Sentinel, which is always, you know, always the reason for victory. And some Reed pre-fights actually. So the plan is just to beta heavy, and I accidentally intercepted. I went to actually push him back, but he came at me, so I intercepted accidentally. So there's 2 heavies right there, and I'm already building power, and I have a falter that I can protect me right here. He doesn't even come at me, so I'm getting a full ramp off of his, and I'm like, okay. I actually wanted that falter for the heavy, but there's the 3rd heavy, and now I'm just pushing him back. I don't want to get too cornered, although I dueled plenty of times to practice the heavy in the corner, but it's a war boss fight. Things can happen, so I'm like, okay, cool. I don't want him to throw this, ideally. I want him to push me into red and then throw a heavy so I can heavy charge into my special 3. The more power he has, the more potent my prowess is per my SIG ability. And so I have 100 charges. I'm running the bleed side of the recoil tree with the Horseman, and you see that now I'm starting to do damage. It doesn't matter. Myestro glances basic attacks and not specials, so it's kind of tailor-made for Professor X and this SP3 spam. So there's my second one. I mean, literally the fight was over. 7 hits, 6 heavies in. So I mean, you tell me, what's easier than knocking somebody down 6 times? I just don't see it. And if it was a rank 3, I have I'm halfway through my mind control cycle here. A rank 3 would just require 2 more SP3s. I'm doing about over 200k per special 3, so that's another 400k. I could probably squeeze in another special 3, so 3 more. You know, I'm not really worried about running out of juice, so to speak. 207 per special 3, and I took that screenshot to send to the guys in chat. So that was our war. At this point in the war, we were losing, I think, 6-2, and they only had like 7 fights left. I was pretty bummed that this was a winnable war for us, but I'm just writing right here that, you know, big bad Maestro boss is supposed to be a OP defender is X-Food. But I didn't find out till later because I wasn't really on my phone much. We did donut this war as a BG, but we did win on time. They died twice. We were up 6-4 actually when I did that, and we did win on time. So shout out to Karate Mike, Trevor, and B McG, and we are heading into the last war of the season.